Hey everybody, I'm Justin Bohn.
And I'm Mike Val.
And this is the Bohn and Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bohn and Zano Zone podcast presented by BuddiesProShop.com. It's been a minute, Mike.
We've taken a little bit of a break. We've had some schedule issues. We're back. New surroundings here. I'm not doing the show from my kitchen anymore.
That's a big step.
It is. I finally, after almost a year of being in the new place, has basically finished the office. So we're making progress here. How are you, pal?
I'm doing pretty good. Life just kind of started to happen again. Getting out of the house a little bit more things to do, bowling, school.
Mm-hmm.
Can't complain, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, it is good to be back. Lots to catch up on in the bowling world, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt. First off, I think we got to congratulate Bill O'Neill on winning the PBA playoffs. Talk about that just for a brief second. First player to hold the belt, if you will. Got some redemption from last year. I thought that was really cool after finishing second last year, and then finishing second to Chris Prather again at the Tournament of Champions, and then being able to finally win $100,000 check. I thought it was really cool to watch.
Really is Bill Prather going to be the new rivalry for the next 10 years on the tour, do you think?
I don't know about rivalry. I just think might just be the way that it happened.
All right. And
I don't think there's any real bad emotions that went through it.
Yeah, it was. It's not a very heated rivalry.
No, not at all.
No. So, and how about I'm going to toot our whistle for a second. How about me and you going to the winner's circle?
Yes, we did.
We did. Not only are we good on the mic here, but we're not too bad on the lanes either.
Not too bad.
No, we brought home a W in an adult child tournament, and we kind of mauled them, Justin.
What do we have, 20 in a row those last two games?
Yeah, it just so people know, we bowled the Baker doubles adult child, and we bowled 290. Was it 290 the third game? Second game, it was 4 games. 4 games?
3, yeah.
Yeah, we bowled 290. We bowled 290, and then we had the front 9 the next game. And we had a bunch from the other game. I think we had a 20 bagger at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of ran them over. So Bohn and Zano Zone going to the winner's circle for the first time. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
But big news in the PBA.
Yep.
The first event of the season, the PBA Players Championship. It's good to see that bowling will continue to go on in 2021, provided everything's still going on in the world. But the Players Championship is coming back with a huge announcement, $250,000 for first place, 5 regionals. A lot of people wondering how it's going to work, and it sounds pretty fun to follow along with.
Yeah, so I'm not too familiar with this. So is the eligibility open to any member that can bowl a regional qualifier? Like any member is eligible, or is it you have to have status to get into the qualifier? Yeah,
so it's 5 regional qualifiers. I forget they were separated. I know the East Region one is in Virginia. I think Tampa, Texas, I think Wisconsin, and Arizona are the 5 regionals, and then the top 5 from each region compete in their own little stepladder, but it will be on TV. So they compete in their own little stepladders down in Florida, where the King of the Lanes was.
Yeah, so it's in that Bolero Center where they host like everything down there, right?
Yeah, so they'll have 5 individual step ladders, and then the 5 winners from the regional events will bowl a 5-person step ladder for the first place check of $250,000. By the way,
That's Mika money right there.
Yeah, that's probably the last time that we had Mika money.
Yeah, that's gonna get guys off the couch and start practicing again. That money's gonna make people want to come at the bowl.
No doubt. It's open to like I think any PBA member can go bowl. 96 bowlers in each region, and then after 96 in your specific region, like you're assigned a region based on where you live. So you would, since we live in New Jersey, you would go to the one that's in
Virginia.
And if it gets more than 96 bowlers, they'll have a PTQ give away 6 spots, and however many bowlers come and bowl the PTQ. So if there's like 140 entries in the East Region one, they'll have the 40 or 50 guys bowl for those 6 spots.
It's kind of like what they did at the World Series a couple years ago, where they had that regional show before that one telecast. That's what it seems like it's going to be, like a regional telecast before the actual telecast of the players.
Yeah, so it's 5. So you bowl 28 games within the region, and then the top 5 make the step ladder. And the step ladder is contested in Florida. And it's 5 shows leading up to the final show, and the final show is going to be live.
That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to see. And then I think that there's either 1 or 2 more events in February, and then right at the beginning of March, leading up to that, which is exciting stuff.
And hopefully they'll be able to have some fans in the building in Virginia or around the country. You
hope so.
But this is definitely going to make guys get up and go practice. I mean, this is definitely going to do it. That kind of money, I mean, you're going to see everybody. And I think just knowing the players we have in the Eastern region here, they're going to get 140 bowlers to go to Virginia. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. So breaking news here.
Breaking. Are we breaking a story for the first time?
Yeah. Brandon just sent me a text message. Are we serious? In all capital letters. Team USA trials is now canceled.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Wow. And we were talking about that just 15 minutes ago.
I know. We were literally talking about it right before the show, how that's where we're going to be.
Wow. Breaking news. We're going to break it at the zone here. Team USA trials canceled. Is there, I guess there's no other information about like rescheduling or what? I know they canceled the senior queens yesterday.
I can check bowl.com.
We can do that. And speaking of Team USA, how about congratulations and best of luck to Rod Ross?
Yes, absolutely.
In his retirement. I mean, that guy is amazing. Congratulations to him on a phenomenal career. And best of luck in your retirement, Coach Ross. He has taught and mentored some of the best bowlers in the world for years.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Kudos to him. And I read a piece yesterday, and, we like to discuss things here, right? And the article that I read was about a potential replacement for Coach Ross. And,
really?
I mean, this is just people just spreading a rumor or suggesting something. But the article I read had this guy's name mentioned 4 times from 4 different sources. And I'll give you a hint on who it is.
Okay.
He was on our show. He's been a guest on our show.
I want to throw JJ's name out there.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy, Mr. Janowitz.
I wouldn't be surprised with the success that he's had with Team USA.
Would he be a player coach, maybe?
Oh, he could be. Yeah.
Yeah. But, so, wow, breaking news. I can't believe they canceled trials.
Yeah. And
wow.
How originally the members from the team from last year were going right to the team from this year. That's going to happen because, I mean, the guys that were on the team in 2020 anyway didn't really have anything to bowl.
There was nothing to travel to, so you're kind of got grandfathered in for this year by default.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. That is amazing.
Yeah. So Team USA trials will not be taking place this year, and it will come back in January of 2022.
And you know what's weird about that? It's not in Las Vegas. So when we talked about it, we thought you guys would be safe because it was in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And I guess that, with the precautions and whatnot, they just decided not to do it.
Yeah, it's some ongoing health issues, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And COVID takes another one.
We do hope that, obviously, that the PBA does kick off, and then the ladies tour will be kicking off in January as well.
Yes, those will start. The Players Championship weekend, that the regional events are taking place January 16th and 17th. I just saw that the PWBA schedule. I know that they've got one of their first events in January as well.
And if I'm not mistaken, they have an event up in New York, up in the Capital District. I know that by Albany they're doing an event, and I thought there was something in Long Island as well.
Yeah, I know that the PWBA has an event on the island this year.
Yeah, so there's two kind of local ones. There's the one up by Albany, and then the one down in Long Island.
Yeah, the PWBA Kickoff Classic Series will be in Arlington, January 18th to the 26th.
Yeah.
So, bowling's kind of coming back.
It is, and look, we all have to do what we have to do, right? I mean, we don't want to see shutdowns again. If this is what it's going to be to keep it going, just let's do what we got to do, I guess, right?
Yeah, just gotta do what we gotta do. So
wear your mask, wash your hands.
Yeah, we were talking about it last night, how I didn't think that it was going to get canceled at this point unless it was the government that was going to shut it down because it was just too close.
Yeah.
To the event. And we were talking about how we almost rented a house, but we didn't, because if the event did get canceled, it'd be hard to get our money back because because it would be. So
yeah,
it's crazy to think that we were talking about it yesterday.
We talked about that this week, and I actually asked you if you were bowling a particular event on New Year's Day and then the following day locally, and you're like, no, I'll be in Indy for trials. And I said, oh, I totally forgot about that. Unless it gets canceled. I'm like, it's not going to get canceled. It's too far along.
Yeah.
Well, wow.
Yep. So,
but we're not getting canceled. We're still going to go full head of steam ahead. I mean, we've come a long way this year.
Yeah, no doubt. We started this whole thing this year.
Yeah. Do you remember the first show we did?
Kinda.
Do you remember who our first guest was?
Tommy Jones.
Tommy Jones, and we didn't even have Tommy on a video. We had Tommy on a phone call.
Yeah, we had him sitting on this phone right here next to the mic. I remember that.
We had that, and that was Tommy had a pretty good weekend.
Yeah. Hall of Fame, 300 on TV, winning the tournament. Probably not get much better than that.
Couldn't get much better than that. And so we're going to recap the PBA really quick. So that was I don't remember what tournament that was. That was the first tournament of the year, the first stop of the year.
The Hall of Fame Classic.
The Hall of Fame Classic. How about for the first four or five shows this year? But the average winning score in the title match was over 280.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Was that not insane?
Yeah, it was like 300, 290, 289, 280.
Insane.
It was stupid.
And the one was in the TSC where they were filthy.
Yeah, the next high score was 220.
Yeah, and Prather both 280 in the title match like it was nothing.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah, then we had that. We had Belmo completing the Super Slam, finally getting his green jacket. Oh, you have a little issue behind you there, bud. Yeah.
How about this?
How about that? So we had Belmo finally getting his U.S. Open title.
Yeah, that was cool to witness this year.
That was a good one. A feel-good story from the tour this year was definitely Troop. After he lost his mom, he won the next week, I believe. Was it the next week or 2 weeks after? That was a really good story for Kyle.
He won. He won in Lubbock, and he also won the doubles with
Jesper. Yeah, that was a really good story. We love Kyle.
And then won the tour finals in June or July.
Yeah, his name's in the talk for Player of the Year.
Yeah, it definitely was. But when Belmo won two majors, that kind of locked him up. And then especially winning that third title.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Bill O'Neill was the next guy in line.
Agreed.
When you look at it, because he won the playoffs, won a major, and
Finished second in a major too.
Finished second in TSC, and then I personally think that if he does win the TSC, and Prather doesn't absolutely smack him, I think Bill O'Neill's Player of the Year.
I do too. I definitely do. That was a good point there. Bill would have been the runner-up. I don't even think it's a contest this year for whose Player of the Year is.
No, it's got to be Belmo.
This is going to be his fifth,
sixth,
or fifth? Is it six?
Yeah.
What does Walter? How many does Walter have? Walter has seven. Wow.
And by the way, Belmo's what, 35?
Belmo's 30. No, he's my age. He's 38, 37, 38.
Okay. Yeah, 38. He's not even 40 yet, and he's been Player of the Year 6 times.
That's insane. And we talked about that was another thing we talked about this year is Belmo the best athlete in the world?
Yeah, of the decade.
Of the decade, that's right. Of the decade in the world.
And it's possible. It's a conversation, and he didn't stop that train this year either.
No, and you know what was interesting was he was quarantined for so long down in Australia.
Yeah.
And the second they say you can travel to the States, boom, he's here. And he just ran everybody over again. It's like it made him more hungry just staying home doing nothing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Is he? So we'll say Walter was the best bowler in the 90s in that decade, right?
Yeah.
So let's go to the 2000s. So you got the 2000s and the 2010s, right?
Yeah.
Would we say Belmo was the best bowler in both of those decades? I mean, he did come in later in the 2000s.
Not in 2000.
Definitely the 2010s, it goes to Belmo.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
You know what's amazing, too, is that he doesn't have, he has 23? 24 titles. 25 titles.
Yeah.
You realize basically half of them are majors?
Yeah.
He's 13 majors. That's insane.
I know.
It's insane.
That's crazy to think about.
And we had him on our show.
Yeah, we did.
He tore into me a little bit. A couple times. A little bit. It was a good time. He was a really good spot.
Yeah, no doubt. We talked to him for almost 2 hours.
Yes. And we do have our first guest locked up for the new year.
Yes, we do. And we'll keep that one on the low.
You want to keep that one on the low?
Yeah.
That's going to be a guy who I think we can have some fun with him too.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't hold back. And I think that'll definitely be a good spot.
Yeah. So I think that we should go into our year of review.
Oh, this is the fun part.
And play some of our favorite clips from the year.
So I'll ask you the question here. So we had some pretty cool guests throughout the year, right?
Yeah.
We heard some pretty good stories, and to kind of like only give us like a top 10 was kind of hard.
Yeah.
We had some challenges. We talked about different stories from back in the day. We talked about hair with certain people. What one story out of the 10 that we did, Justin, was your favorite?
Out of the 10 that we did.
Yeah, and nobody knows the 10 that we picked.
Right.
I know which mine. I know what mine is.
You know, it's got to be between Doug and Jimmy had a really good show, I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And there was definitely some good ones on that one.
Yeah.
Dad talking about his trip to Kuwait. That story just never gets old.
No, and that story took forever, but it was so worth it.
It was 20 minutes, but it just never gets old. And then some of the stories that Tim Mack told are insane. Is
the 710 story one of your favorites you've heard so far?
One of the favorites, yes, no doubt.
And that was, I wish I was there to witness that.
Yeah, that was fun.
So for those people who don't know the 710 story, there's a guy from Staten Island named Joe Stillman. And Joe is this massive human being. He's 6'4", 6'5", like 350, 400 pounds, a massive left-handed bowler. I don't think he bowls anymore. And Joe was always known for making the 710. So at the Hoinky one year, however it happened, well, Justin, do you have it?
Not yet. I can pull it up though.
Okay.
Do you want to start off with that one?
We can start off with that one. Well, that one's, you know what? A lot of people to this day still do the whole Timmy Mack. He's 1 for 1.
Yeah.
And Timmy was there. Timmy tells the story. Great.
Yeah.
And Justin, just to let you know, this guy right here, I actually got to bowl with John Spence this past weekend.
Yeah.
That was an interesting Sunday, to say the least. You want to talk about misery on the lanes, Justin?
No.
6 hours of pure misery with that guy. I actually texted Barnes a picture of who my teammate was, and
oh, really?
Yeah, and Barnes just wrote back, "I feel very sorry for you." I got one more story I want. Oh, is it? I hear it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So do we just now? Can we talk during this, Justin?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So let's have at it here. So this is our first highlight of the year, right?
Yes.
Timmy Mac, if that's okay with you guys.
Go ahead.
Going back to the Hoinky. And I don't know if you know this one, Chuck. Tim, you got to tell us the Joe Stillman 710 story.
Oh.
It is arguably the greatest prop bet story in the history of
Chuck,
all.
were you there? You weren't there. You weren't there.
No,
So,
but Joe Stillman makes the 710 like he's eating a Whopper. I mean, let's be honest. Joe Stillman can make the 710 like he's eating a Whopper. That's all I
it
can
was
tell
one
you.
of the most incredible things I've ever seen in the sport of bowling. And there must have been a couple of hundred people down there. We were bowling on 9 and 10, and they had open play going actually down there as well. There was somebody on 13 and 14. There was a family bowling on 13 and 14, and there's a couple lanes like on 5, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 and 6 were on. We're bowling on 9 and 10, and all of a sudden, all the gambling comes out, and they decide to say, Joe says, I could make the 710. I can make the 710 three times, 100 times. 3 times.
He has a very big lisp, everybody. That's why Timmy is very big lisp.
The guy to death. He's one of he's just a great character, big hearted guy, and just a classic East Coaster.
Yeah.
And the whole Hoinky family, Irv, his wife, Tracy, Russell, everybody was there. They sat down on the settee, and they had a big group betting on them and a big group betting against them. And apparently, the story, the legend goes that. Joe had made the 710 before. He did it up in either up in Showplace or Country on the island, like that island, where the pins bounced around a little bit. Well, the Hoinky pins don't bounce out. So he's wearing a Chris Webber Sacramento Kings jersey.
It's amazing how he remembers what he's wearing too.
I know.
And he's bowling a sneaker.
It's like Timmy just saw this yesterday.
When Storm came out with the sports series balls, the Storm golf ball. Chuck, you remember that ball, right?
Oh yeah.
The baseball and the footballs. He's using the Storm. So he's a massive human being. He's 350 pounds.
Makes me look small, Justin. He
7'4".
looks like the guy from the Ghostbusters. The Steve Marshmallow Man.
He's just a giant human being. And he's every bit of 340, 350. And he's 6'4", and he's shaved
generous.
head, and he's got the chain on. And so now I said, I walk up to Joe. I said, Joe, he said, yeah, Timmy, I can do it. There's no problem. I do it. I got it. Don't you worry. You bet on me. So I bet like $1,000 on him to do it. So I put up the money, and I'm there with Brenda, who's my wife now, and we're watching this. He's warming up, and he's practicing on back and forth, and he's bowling on 9 and 10. And he realizes, 10 doesn't bounce out as much. So he goes over, but he doesn't realize that as he's going on. So he warms up. He throws like 6 shots, but let's go. I'm ready. Let's go.
Justin,
and everybody's down there. The buzz is crazy.
You know what he does in the first shot, Justin?
I do.
He makes the first one. He goes one for one, and the whole
one
effing building
one
goes
for one.
Absolutely chaos. And we're screaming like crazy. Drinks are flying. Things are flying.
Justin, you know anybody that can do
one
this?
for one.
1 for 1.
I'm like,
you know anybody that can
me?
do this? Like this?
Are you kidding me right now?
No.
So meanwhile, on the scoring monitors, they've got sports bet up there, and of course he's betting the sports as well. It's like a baseball game and a football game. It's
What an animal!
It was either I think it was college football for sure, because baseball just finished, because it was during November. So it was college football and basketball. I think there are 2 games going on at the same time. He said, "I'm betting on that guy. We need this guy cover. We need this." I mean, it's going on and on and on. So now he starts going back and forth, and the pins aren't bouncing on lane 10. So he goes 1 for 1, and he goes 2 for 22. So now he's 10%.
What is that, Justin?
Okay.
2 for 22.
Now we're going crazy. Now we're like, are you kidding me? He's 2 for 22. It's he's got to make 3 out of 100. Okay, and he's rapid firing his shots. So once he realizes lane 10 doesn't bounce out, he goes to lane 9 and he's just, he's mauling the 7-pin. And it's, and all that weight, and he slides and throws it at the same time. So it's like Marshall Holman at 350 pounds running to the foul line, sliding and throwing at the same time. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm like, okay, he's 2 for 22, 3 for 33. Now I got my money back because that's even money. Three's a push, 4's a win. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is the greatest thing of all time. This is, now it's just become a show. Well, now he gets in a streak where he just can't make it anymore, and the place is going bananas. And then he gets a couple that bounce out over the deck and run into the so he goes on a streak of like 30 shots where he doesn't get it, and he goes, "Don't wait, Timmy, don't wait, Timmy." I had to go down and have a pep talk to him. I had to wipe the sweat off him, and we get a bunch of guys, all the East Coast guys on him, and I said, "Listen, Joe, so you concentrate." No, but I got that game bet. I'm betting that game. I need that guy to cover. And he's screaming at the TV. I'm like, Joe, we got a lot of money bet on you. Bro, come on, man. He goes, don't worry, Timmy. I made it last time at 66. I made it last time. 66 is my number. Don't you worry. So we get to 64, 65, 66 comes by. And 66 bounces out and rockets in front of it. Doesn't hit it because he did 3 out of 66, I think, at Showplace. And don't you know, in the 68th shot, he makes 4 out of 68. And I run through the crowd. Incredible. And I jump out and to this day, I don't know how I did it. I picked him up. And we were screaming. And we had a big crowd around. And he's going crazy. He's got the hat on sideways. Yeah, the place is going crazy. And then half the place is in disbelief. They can't believe it. 4 out of 68. He made the 7-10. 4 out of 68. I don't know how much money was bet. It's just piles of money. Justin would know what that's like at the Bohn house. Piles of money just sitting on the
yeah. Yep, he would. He would.
And if you don't know it at the Bohn house, you certainly can find it at the Kent house.
So I shot at Uncle Doug there.
2 houses, there's a lot. Yeah. There's piles of money. In any case, Chucky and I know as ball reps, not so much.
I think we're good on this one.
So
our pile.
I've never seen or ever heard of anything like that. That's incredible.
Dude, that's nuts. That's nuts.
So, Justin, we've also discussed a lot of suggestions and ideas on our show.
Yeah,
like we're getting the ladies going to bring them into the PBA league and have the seniors go into the PBA league. You actually came up with an open challenge to a couple people.
I did.
You did, and is that going to happen?
Go ahead.
Is that going to happen? The challenge that you proposed?
The
triple threat match?
Maybe. It's a work in progress match. Those of you who don't know, we want to have a triple threat match of some sort, whether it's doubles or trios. The Bohn family against the McEwens, Danielle McEwen and Nick and Victoria Verano, and then Wes Malott and his sons, Jordan and Camden. We're looking to do that at Junior Gold, but that would just be so much fun.
That would be, and I think we said we would try to get some money raised and for other side, the old life.
Yeah.
We proposed that to both of them when we talked to them. Yeah,
that's it would be a work in progress, but hopefully if Junior Gold happens this year, that would be the ideal place to do it.
What other moments do we have, Justin, that you like that stuck out?
The Doug Kent story about them driving 3 hours the wrong way.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about it.
Do we want to share that one?
Yeah, that's your 2020 Parker Bohn III Scholarship Ping Pong Tournament champion as well.
Yes.
Nice hair doing that one, Justin.
Oh, it was a great time. It was like March, and it was no haircuts.
This was right in the middle of the quarantine when we were shut down.
Yeah, but this is your ping pong champion right here.
You were up at his place, right?
Yeah, as you can see the bill sign in the background. I wouldn't have that at my house.
Yeah, that's true.
He said you were bowling, I think, in Chicago, Indiana, somewhere in the Midwest, and all of a sudden you wanted to go watch the ladies tour bowling somewhere.
Oh, here we go. Is this the Caribou, Wisconsin one?
And I don't know. Doug, what happened that day, bud?
So I'll make this a really short story.
It's a long story.
It's a really long night, but I'll make it a short story. So we were bowling. I want to say it was the World Open at the time, and the women were bowling in Rockford, Illinois, and we were, I think, Deer Park, Illinois, I think. So anyways, it was like a 45-minute to an hour drive. So we drove to watch the women's last round of match play, and I want to say it was on a Friday night. And so we got there, we watched it, we stayed after, we had a couple drinks after, whatever. We left at like midnight, and Mike Triniski wanted me to drive. So I'm like, what am I getting on here? He says, I want to say 94, 96 or whatever it was, going north. So I get on and I'm driving and I am driving. He climbs in the back of the van in this chair that he had. He falls asleep and I'm just driving and driving and driving. And after 3 hours, I was so tired at 3 o'clock in the morning, I pulled over and I said, Mike, I go, wake up. I said, we've been driving a long time. We should have been there by now. I said, I'm not sure where we are. Well, up ahead, there was this big road sign. So he goes, pull up there. Let's see where we're at. So I get up there and there was a sign for Baraboo. So he looks on the map. He's like, oh my God, do you have any idea where we are? I'm like, no, I don't. We should have been there by now. He goes, oh my God, you drove 3 hours in the wrong direction. We got back to the room at 6:30 in the morning.
And what, 7:30?
We had roll call at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, whatever it was, to both. So yeah.
See, Jim, I had one there.
That's your uncle there, buddy.
That's nothing shy of a Doug Kent story, right there.
I moved the light, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Now we have some. I look a little better. I don't look as dark in the light, so that's pretty good. That was a good one. Uncle Doug was a good one there.
Yeah. You got one you want to play?
Well, when we did our final 10, we always tried to get like dirt, or we wanted to hear stories out of them. I think the one that I liked here, I don't think we did a final 10 with him. I think it was there's a two-parter. One of the questions I was asked was, who was kind of cheap when they used to go out, right?
Yeah.
And I asked that to Bill O'Neill.
Okay.
And I think the answer surprised us. And then we had that person on, and he defended himself.
He did.
And then he actually ratted out another person.
Yeah, he did.
So can we pull up Bill's answer to who was always the who would always beat the bill at dinner? I think that was a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is right there.
On tour. Who's the guy most likely to sneak out and not pay his part of the bill?
Oh,
and now wait. No, So you're at the dinner. You go, any guys on tour? A guy sneaks out. Now I've asked this question to a bunch of guys, and the same name always comes up for some reason.
Yeah.
If Bill follows in
the so that you're probably talking about Barnes. Is that? So Barnes is. I'll answer the question, but I will tell you about Barnes. Barnes is on the cheaper side, but never has he ever been cheap with me. Never been.
Callahan said the same thing.
Well, because Callahan's picking up, but he is. Like Barnes is cheap with himself. He's not cheap with his friends.
Mm-hmm. Barnes is not the answer, though, Justin.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody did say Barnes, though, when I asked the question.
And I'll tell you why. Because he's A, really forgetful. Okay. And B, he's always on the phone. He's always talking to somebody. Whether it be his family or he's got somebody that's producing his a movie for him or something, where he's always on the phone. So you never finish a meal, rarely, without him being on the phone. So he's like, I got to take this, and then he leaves, and then I'm sitting there, and all right, we'll just pay the bill. And then I walk out and I give him one of these, and he gets in the car, and then later on he's like, oh, did you get it? I'm like, yeah, I got it. But he'll always get me back. But he is definitely the guy who would walk out with that thing.
Well, that's where I messed up. That's where I messed up there. We shouldn't have put that last part in there when we played it back to Belmo.
Yeah.
When Bill said he always gets him back. Now, we did have Belmo on.
And he did defend himself.
And he did, and that was my bad. I think it was our bad. We should have not had Bill say he gets me back. So, what was Belmo's response to that, Justin?
Well, that's a new one there, Justin. We'll add Belmo to the list
then. Okay, so that's not big. Parker, what's going on?
Oh boy.
How are you, mate?
Hey, I'm doing all right.
tonight.
I'm just about to defend myself about a Bill O'Neill comment there, but you set that up for clickbait, Mike. You straight up set me up.
I did.
I got all heated.
We did, Justin. We tried to set him up.
Because I was cheap, and that's not true. He did say that it's because I'm often busy and I, take a phone call and then we decide to leave and then he pays for it. But he even said at the end, I always get him back. And that's actually the relationship we have. So we don't pay 50-50 for meals. It's I'll get this one, you get the next one. Or, if he gets like a lunch, I'll get 2 breakfasts or whatever it might be. So yes, I will walk out without paying, but it's because I know the next 2 dinners I'll be paying for anyway. So it all evens itself out. So I actually agree with the Bill O'Neill comment. I certainly would walk out without paying.
You should have caught that, Mike. You screwed up there.
Yeah.
You could have started the
Stu is right.
in paradise here.
I was about to go to Twitter and start. I was about to go to Twitter and start firing in at Bill O'Neill.
All right. So then, who is the guy then, Belmo? You're out, couple guys.
Yeah.
Who is the guy who's beating the bill then? And Stu can answer the same thing. Who is the guy?
Oh,
See,
man,
we just don't hang out with those people.
No, I could say the same thing. I could say Bill doesn't pay for half the meals, but that's not true. Like, that's just, it's not because he's stiffing you. It's because it's my turn to pay the bill, and that's not what we're talking about. I mean, I don't know anyone that I travel with that will not pay for their fair share of the bill.
This is a new name, Justin.
Fagan probably is the worst because what he does is he gets the bill and splits it absolutely evenly down the middle 3 ways and expects everyone to pay the 19 cents that we all have to put in to make the bill the right. Like, he's the opposite. He's always making sure he pays right, but also make sure that, if you're $1.07 short in cash, he'll say, I'll get it, but you owe me $1.07, which I'll get later. And then you'll be at the apartment later, and he'll say, I'm just reminding you, like, I'm not expecting you to pay me like right now, but you still owe me $1.07. I'm like, yeah, Mike, I know, I'm good, dude. I'm good for the $1.07. I'll catch you tomorrow for the $1. And then we'll go to breakfast, and before I can even open my mouth on what to order, he will say, hey, just make sure you get $1.07 back because you owe me $1.07. And then we usually punch him in the head and tell him he's ridiculous. And we laugh about it. And then I give him his $1.07 just to shut him up. But he never stiffs. Yeah, never. I don't know anyone that stiffs.
That was a different one.
Yeah, that was a fun show in general.
Yes. And later on in that show, I asked Belmo, an interesting question was, him being from Australia, and I asked him if he ever frequents the Outback Steakhouse.
Not a smart move.
Well, again, I didn't know this, and
not a smart move.
How about we go into Belmo ripping me apart on Outback?
Yeah.
How did Stu join us for that night? I don't remember how Stewie joined us.
I feel like he was in the comments, and he just. One of us was like, "Oh, Stu's in the comments. Let's get him on.
Bring him in."
And that was just how it happened.
Huh. We love Stu on our show.
Yeah, it was a fun little appearance.
It was. It was. The this is the clip.
Yep.
Oh boy.
So you get done with a block, Belmo, right?
Okay.
You're a little hungry, looking to find some place to eat. Is
Five
Outback,
Guys.
is Outback not Outback?
No, Outback is the worst place in the world. It's if that place went out of business tomorrow, other than the people who work for that place, because then obviously they'd be unemployed. But no, it's a disgrace to Australian culture.
It's also not very good.
No,
I
it's
wouldn't
not
know. Never eaten there.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe I lied. Maybe one time in Japan when everyone was going to Outback, and I was like, I don't want to really go there, but all right, I'll just go there. And I didn't have a great experience. And when I'm reading the menu and everything on there is like, oh, why don't we just go and get an Outback steak and we'll get some Aussie fries and we'll get these shrimps on the barbie. We don't even call it shrimp. You know, like things like that is, it just bothers me. And
here it comes.
Never eat there.
So it is not authentic. So there's false advertisement.
What fast food restaurant is authentic?
It's not really fast food.
Is Sbarro authentic Italian pie? Like, no, I don't think, you know, their logo is of the Italian colors. And you're like, dude, it's as far as from authentic as you can possibly get. Those types of chain restaurants, they're designed for one thing only, and that's to give people heart attacks. That's it. That's all they're designed to do.
Oh, dear.
Stu, what's your go-to place?
I do like Five Guys, though.
Five Guys is good.
I'll have a heart attack in Five Guys anytime.
That's funny.
Wow. Once again, Bell Mode is putting me right in my place.
That's pretty funny.
He was one of the many U.S. Open champions we've had this year.
No doubt.
I think we did have the most prolific U.S. Open champion of all time join us.
Would that be Weber?
Yeah, and he actually had one of the most prolific moments in the history of the U.S. Open.
That he did.
I think not even the "Who do you think you are? I am" line. I think he's more known for one other thing at the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, we asked him about that one particular moment, didn't we?
Yeah.
And what did old PDW have to say about that one?
Let's take a look.
Let's go to the next one there, Mr. Bohn. What's going through your mind, Pete, when you dropped the U.S. Open trophy? Arguably one of the best highlights of your career.
My first thought was, oh, man, I'm in trouble again. That's what I really thought, because I dropped the trophy. I thought they were going to fine me or something for that, you know. But that's what I really thought.
It was
trouble again.
Was it like loose from the base or something? Like it wasn't on there securely?
There's a little story behind that. Nelson Burton Jr., a.k.a. Bo, took the top of the trophy, the double stick tape trophy, moved it for the cameraman so the camera guy didn't have to move his camera, and then never bothered to put it back.
Oh.
Norm Duke, before they handed me the trophy, said, Peter, I told this to your brother or somebody that whoever gets that trophy is going to drop it. So it's going to fall off. And Nelson Burton Jr. never fessed up to that until recently. He said, he finally on somebody's show said, all right, I'm fessing up to it. I'm the reason Pete Weber dropped the trophy. So
it was Bo's fault. So it was Bo's fault. It's not Pete's fault.
Yes, it was Nelson Burton Jr.'s fault.
All right. So Bo Burton's fault, Justin.
And
there you go.
And if I'm not mistaken, you know, everybody always asks the same question, like, who is the greatest of all time, right? Was the greatest of all time Walter Ray or is it Weber? They call it the GOAT, right? Who is the greatest of all time, right?
Right.
Well, we did ask Weber who the greatest of all time was.
Yeah, let's see what he had to say.
Let's see what Pete had to say about that, because, you know, he probably gets that all the time, right?
Probably. You know, he's got to.
Yeah, and knowing it's coming from us, you know, we have to ask these hard questions to our guests, Justin.
It's what we do. It's just what we do.
Some good stuff out of this.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Pete, let's go to number one. You've heard it forever. Who's the greatest? Who's the GOAT? Let's just get it out of the way, Pete. Who's the greatest of all time, Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair? Ooh, a curveball.
Oh, Ric Flair.
Oh, thank God.
Ric Flair. Sorry, I mean, come on. Hogan doesn't have 16 championships, and Hogan wasn't around quite as long as Flair has been around.
Is Flair the best of all of them? Stone Cold, The Rock. Is Flair your guy, or do you have a better?
Oh, my guy's the Undertaker.
Ooh, you
my
like the
guy's the
Undertaker.
Undertaker. I'm sorry, but he's the man. There ain't nobody better.
Well, which Undertaker are we talking about?
Pete thought we were going with the bowling thing there. We switched it up a
Which
little bit for him.
Undertaker was your favorite one?
I like the Undertaker, not the American Badass.
Like the original one,
real Undertaker
with the hat and the big tie and whatnot.
Yeah, and the long leather coat.
I like that.
I'm gonna eat you for lunch. Look,
with Paul Bearer, right? That's the Undertaker we like.
Yeah, I like the Undertaker now too. So
yeah,
I know he's retiring, but I've always liked the Undertaker.
All right.
That was not really where I thought that one was going.
No, and he thought it was probably going to be like, these two stupid people are going to ask me if it was me or Walter Ray. I'm sick of answering this question. Oh, no, Pete. We're going to change it up a little bit.
That was a change up there. I didn't think that one was going there. I forgot about that one. I didn't think that one was going there.
And we've also had some serious, conversations and whatnot. One of the better ones, I think, and it was more like a discussion, was when we had Machuga and Robert Smith on. That was a really good talk about like different bowling topics and whatnot, and suggestions. But I think we finally got what I thought was one of our best shows was when we had Janowitz on.
Yeah,
and John kind of gave like a live tutorial on breaking patterns down, equipment, and whatnot.
Yeah, I thought that was honestly like really, really cool, was when we had him on talking about lane patterns and all that. I thought that was one of the cooler things that we had done. And I think that we need to do it again. But
definitely.
You wanted to hear something from him too?
Yeah, I mean, and people always have that misconception, and I always had that misconception that you throw urethane down a lane, you break the lane down, you just kind of like, it gives you a shove, right? It just gives you a push and kind of blows up the pattern. And JJ disagreed with that myth, right?
Yeah.
And what did John have to say about urethane?
It's good on fresh. You don't need to just keep beating it up.
So he just mentioned like throwing a urethane ball like left to where you want. So
we were on location on this one.
And urethane can actually help increase your likelihood of scoring on a pair, or is it going to mess up? I mean, a lot of people always say you're throwing urethane, you're blowing the pair up, creating carry down. Is that true, or can urethane actually benefit you on breaking a pattern down as well?
I mean, I've had urethane benefit me a few times breaking it down. I mean, I just, like anything else, I mean, you depending on where you throw it and how good you are at actually hitting your lines. I mean, if you're pretty good at hitting your lines and just moving it a few boards in and just tracing some lines inside of that, then I think it can definitely be a help. Now, like I said, if I've seen guys try to set the lanes up for themselves and they weren't very good at actually hitting their lines, and then they actually ruined it for themselves. So I think it just depends on the player more than anything else. But does urethane create a different kind of change? Yes, it does. But my personal opinion, it's just another tool in the bag. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with the urethane revolution myself. There's been times where it's hurt me, but like anything else, you got to figure it out. I mean, you have to figure it out, and if you don't, then you're going to go home. And I'm not ready to go home yet. So I'm just going to keep working at it and trying to find ways, whether it's through different kinds of equipment, or maybe I just need to just start to learn to throw urethane balls a little bit more. Which like I said, Frank, I like to think I'm. But like anything else, there's always more to be learned.
Is there a difference between a urethane ball made now than urethane from the urethane era? I mean, do you see like a bigger, like if I came out to an event, if I came out with an original blue hammer, let's just say, and a pitch black, are they going to react the same because they're both urethane balls, or are they going to react totally different?
I think they'll react very different. I mean, the other thing too is, I mean, like even though the differentials aren't very high on a lot of these newer balls, like the True Motion and the Purple Hammers and the Pitch Blacks, I mean, they still do have a little bit of core in them, and they will flare a little. I mean, not really a lot, but I mean, at the same time, it's not going to be that quarter-inch line that we used to see with the Thunderbolts and whatnot, too. Those are the balls that will definitely really, create some character. It is literally only one line of oil, and it's going to be depositing that oil when it gets to the back end. Those are the ones that really create a lot of change. But like Black Widow, urethanes, and whatnot. I mean, yeah, they'll probably blow up the front a little bit more than they'll really do much in the back. But no, that I would definitely say no, they're definitely not the same. And also, a lot of these newer cover stocks, they definitely seem to absorb a lot more oil than the Emerson Black UDOTs did back in the day. So I think with the newer technology, I think they do absorb more. But just because of the fact that we're using compared to like when we were first using Black UDOTs, I mean, we're almost using 3 times the amount of oil too, compared to the Black UDOT, Slate UDOT days and the Black Hammers. I mean, using 3 times the volume. So in that sense, yeah, they're gonna carry oil down just because of the fact that, like I said, use a lot more oil now too.
He asked the question, or he made the statement that he's not ready to go home yet. Do you think he could have won on tour if he ever went on tour?
Absolutely, not a doubt.
Yeah. You think he would have had? I'm not saying like a couple titles. Do you think he could have had like a Hall of Fame career?
Probably.
I think he would have had more than 10, right? More than 10.
I could have got to 10. Yeah.
Yeah. He's almost 50, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's almost 50. He's phenomenal, I think we're on the same page. Best amateur bowler in the world,
no doubt. No doubt.
He's phenomenal. He's a really good guy too.
Yeah.
What else do we have there in the bucket that we can go on?
We could talk about Amleto's hair.
Oh,
that we've got in the bucket.
That that was probably my favorite show we did.
The draft show.
The draft show. That was
without
awesome.
a doubt.
Oh, we have to do that again this year.
Yeah, without a doubt, that was, I think, like the coolest thing that we ever did.
Yeah,
with people coming on and getting interviewed, and oh my god, it was like the coolest thing ever.
Chuck was with us. Chucky did 3.5 hours with us.
I know that was like it was 3.5 hours. It was.
Dude, it was every time that we had somebody leave,
somebody else
joining us in. Yeah, I mean, it was nonstop. We had Walter Ray came on. He came on before the draft, actually.
Yeah, and we talked even after the draft.
Yeah,
about just stuff. We had Amleto on, and Matt McNeil came on too.
That's when Amleto decided he was to be my personal trainer that night.
Yes, it was. I remember that.
But I believe Matt had a picture of Amleto.
I just deleted that picture of his hair, by the way.
Of the old Amleto or the more recent Amleto?
I think the more recent one, but I just got rid of it.
Well, Matt had the picture of. Well, let's just play it out, Justin.
All right.
There it is.
The hair in that one, right?
No.
So what was the best Amleto hairdo on tour then? Was it the ponytail?
Doesn't even look like him.
Hair Amleto? What is it?
It was the longer hair when I used the headband.
Yes, the headband. That's when you were with Track. You were throwing all those. Yeah, you were throwing like the Heat and the Champ.
The freak out.
Yeah, the Champ, the Sky Blue Champ.
You won with an Inferno with that headband on too in Riviera.
No, I didn't have the headband. The headband in that show. No.
All right.
He did look pretty good with the headband on.
Yeah.
He always had a different hairdo. That was the thing.
He did.
But
actually, there were 2 Inferno.
Now, if I'm not mistaken here, Justin,
it'd be Traber in that show.
There was another person that Matt had better hair than him, right?
Go ahead.
Isn't there something a little bit further along on this clip?
Yeah.
Where I thought I said Amleto had the best hair on tour, and I believe Mr. McNeil trumped me. And
he must have been loving life on that show.
No, you won't.
So listen, I want to go back to the hair really quick, Leto, if we could.
There's the picture.
There you go.
There it is.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. I mean, look, in my opinion, best hair on tour. Forget Voss. I mean, you have the best hair on tour. Let's just call spade a spade. That's you, but it's you.
I don't know, Mike. I mean, Mark Williams for a time had that beautiful,
Oh yeah,
beautiful dome. I
You
mean,
know how much hairspray did he use? You know, one of the reasons, this is honest the truth. One of the reasons why I use the headband is because, number one, I was against hairspray. That's ugly. That's just absolutely. And most of the soccer players, they use long hair and they use a headband just like that. And that's why I did it. I always wanted to look different. I never wanted to look in the mirror looking the same thing, the same haircut, the same thing. Yeah, I wanted to be different always. And that's why it came up, you know.
Is there anybody better than
amazing.
Leto?
My wife is sitting on the couch. She's saying,
Go ahead.
Is there anybody better than Leto? Is he not the best?
He's fun guy, I thought.
He's up there.
Yeah.
He is up there. That draft show was the best. I think that was our best one.
Yeah, it was 3.5 hours. We had people coming on all the time. It was fun. With Chuck, it was a blast.
Now, do you think they're going to expand the league this year?
That is a very good question, considering that they just expanded it to 4 more teams.
With the women team and the.
I wouldn't be surprised if the PWBA had, and I think this could be kind of cool, to where the PWBA had their own PBA league of like 6 teams, and the top 2 teams advanced into the PBA league. That,
like a qualifier, you're saying?
Yeah, that could be one thing that they could do. But that would also lower the level down of the players on the team, I feel. Because this year, it was literally the top 10 players in points.
Yeah, there was no surprises when the ladies had the draft.
Yes. When you look at it, if you're spreading across 6 teams, you're spreading 30 girls across 6 teams.
Yeah.
Even if it was the same way, you're looking at the top 30 in points rather than the top 10.
How many were on the guys list when we had the draft? It was like 80 guys on the list, right?
75.
80, that could have been drafted. Was 75?
It could have been, yes. It was top 75 in points.
And what were there? They formed the 2 teams, so that's 10. What was there? Like 20 spots to be had? Something like that?
The prior 8 teams had 3 spots, so 24.
That's 24.
And there were 10 spots, so 34.
34 out of 75 guys got drafted. And they went from all up and down that list. It wasn't just like 1, 2, 3, 4. They moved around.
They spread around. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And that was fun. The league was good for what it was this year, not being in Portland, Maine, and not having that atmosphere. It was still pretty good.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was really good to have bowling back on TV. I think it worked. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really well done. The back-to-back days, I thought it was good.
Yeah, they're really trying to make it a little bit different, like with the Strike Derby and the King of the Lanes was back. Yeah. Bolero's really putting their best foot forward, it seems like.
Yeah.
To try to grow more interest to the sport, and I like that.
Well, the hard thing was that they came along. If it wasn't this year, it was last year. They haven't been on board for an extreme amount of time. And I don't think they've got the full season yet under their belt. This season was far from normal.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely far from normal. And I think what they're starting to do and what they want to do and the visions that they have is really, really good for the PBA. I mean, just look at the Players' Championship that they're about to do. It's a $1 million prize fund with $250,000 for first place. 5 guys are getting a $50,000 check, which, by the way, used to pay first place, right?
Yeah, not even
first place, and 25 guys are getting $10,000.
Yeah, hello. That's like I said to you earlier. That's gonna get guys off the couch and go practice.
Exactly, and it is definitely a draw, especially for those people that don't normally get to bowl the major events because they are far away or they're a week long. you bet your bet for a weekend, 28 games. I'd take the chance.
Oh no, absolutely. And I don't know if I don't remember if I asked this to you earlier. If I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. Are there any guys that are exempt from going through the qualifier? Like what I mean is like will a Belmo or a Prather or a Bill, are they exempt from going through qualifying, or do they still have to go through?
So the qualifying is the 28 games at each qualifier. So like all the guys from Europe, I think, are zoned for Florida. The guys from Australia or Asia,
like the international players who want to
are zoned for Arizona. They're all zoned to different areas.
So they all have to go through the same.
Yeah, so like if Bill O'Neill and Belmo wanted to bowl at the same one, they couldn't.
Yeah, but
it's zoned based off of where you live, and they drew the lines based on that, so they could do that.
So basically, what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter if you're Belmo or if you're Robert Fusick. When I see his name on the thing, it doesn't matter. You're still bowling the qualifier to get into the main tournament. It doesn't matter who you are at this point.
So the main tournament is those 28 games, and the finals of those regional tournaments get you into the show. So you have to be bowling on the 5-person stepladder show from your region to get into the 5-person stepladder for the players.
And then so each winner of each region will then make the players show, basically. That's
so the 5 guys from each region, the winner of that stepladder will be one of the seeds on the final show.
Gotcha. And there's no exemptions, like no commissioner exemptions, or no, we're not giving it. It's you got to earn this one.
Yeah, but so if there does happen to be a PTQ, it is based on first come, first serve.
But how would they PTQ this though?
So the PTQ is for the regional event.
Oh, okay. I got you. I see what you're saying.
So if there's more than 96 bowlers, they'll give away 6 spots on a PTQ. And if you're not one of the first 90 bowlers, then you're in the PTQ. It's not based on anything statistically.
Gotcha. So it's not like how the U.S. Open is or whatnot. This is totally different.
Yes.
And when are the rest of the majors this year? Are they in the beginning part of the year?
I know that the U.S. Open is at the end of February.
That's in Milwaukee, I believe, right?
Yes.
Wisconsin somewhere.
In Wisconsin. Yeah.
And that's back to the invitation only, obviously.
I believe so.
Then I don't want to say this. I don't want to see it happen, but the Masters is supposed to be in Las Vegas.
Supposed to be, yes.
So is the USBC. So the National is supposed to be out there as well. I think they kind of coincide with each other. With the Senior Queens being canceled, I truly hope that the Masters is not canceled, or maybe relocate the Masters to a part of the country like Florida or Arizona, like where they're doing these qualifiers for the players that can hold the Masters. Because I don't think that they're going to host an event like that in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's possible. You never know.
It is true. I mean, we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but you don't want to see the Masters get postponed again.
Yeah, not again. No.
No, I mean, it's bad enough the trials are postponed. The Senior Queens is postponed.
Trials aren't happening.
I'm sorry?
There's no trials this year.
No.
So there won't be a team trials until January of 2022.
That's incredible. I really wonder if they're going to be like traveling, if Team USA is going to be on the road.
Yeah. I mean, you've got no idea.
No. And here's an interesting one. And back to our friend John, bring it back to Carolier. I really wonder if they would bring a stop back to Carolier. It is a Bolero.
You never know.
No, you don't know. I mean, it's plenty big.
With all of the remodels that they have on it, it would be very interesting to see what they would do.
But you know what, though, Bud? If you look at the center that they're in down in Jupiter, Florida, that they're always at, that's what Carolier looks like. I mean, kind of those Boleros are just the plain white masking unit, and they all look the same. So I'd love to see the tour go back to Carolier for a major or one of these stops or whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you think that the PBA is going to just kind of stick to the Bolero centers because they're the owner now?
I would see a majority of the events going to the Bolero centers, but I think that some of the good relationships that they've built with certain centers that they've had tour stops, like the place in Lubbock, for example.
Yeah, Wayne Webb's another one.
Wayne Webb's another guy. Woodland Bowl is another place. Like they're still going to go back to those places for sure. But I think a majority of the events that had been in smaller events, and it might be like the Flow Bowling Tour, like the summer tour, that had been in like smaller regional centers, like we had talked about, like Coldwater and Delaware, and places like those. I mean, they've built connections for a few years now, and it is very possible that they would be Bolero events now.
What is the World Series scheduled yet? Do they have a date?
Not scheduled.
They don't have dates for World Series yet.
Not yet. No.
So how far out is the tour? Is it out like through March, basically?
I think it's only the Players and the U.S. Open.
So
it's the Masters is scheduled. The Masters is a full roster right now.
Is it really?
It's full. Yeah.
Wow. Are you bowling in the Masters?
No, I'm not.
I'm just asking.
I was looking because I was going to ask Dad because trials isn't happening anymore. I was like, well, Dad, maybe we can go to the Masters instead, but not with it being full.
No, and they're really strict out there too.
Yeah.
They're really strict out in Las Vegas. I believe it's in Las Vegas this year. So that's going to kind of wrap up our little recap. I think we should do another one. We'll probably be back before the end of the year, maybe before Christmas or after Christmas.
No doubt.
We do have some stuff coming up for 21. We have a lot of we do have some scheduled guests that are already confirming, and we do have our first one. Do we let the first name out of the bag?
No, keep it a secret.
Keep that one. He is. We'll say he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, we'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. We'll just say that.
Yep. So that will wrap up our year in review. And for those of you who are still on, thank you for watching. Be sure to check out buddiesproshop.com for all your bowling needs. Use coupon Zone 5 off to save 5% off of your next order.
And do it with the holiday season. So go on buddiesproshop.com and get some stocking stuffers there.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm Justin Bohn, my partner Mike Val, and this is the Bohn and Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. We'll see you next time.